You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center, brought to you by Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. The high school football season kicks off Thursday night with Sun Prairie East playing host to reigning Division II state champion West De Pere. Coverage starts at 6:30 with kickoff at 7 on 100.5 ESPN and live video streaming free on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The Green Bay Packers prepare for preseason game number 2 versus the Broncos this Friday, and quarterback Jordan Love appeared on the Rich Eisen Show earlier this afternoon. He was asked about the rivalry with the Chicago Bears and their head coach Ben Johnson after last year's playoff loss at Soldier Field.
The way that Matt LaFleur has been handled, if you will, by the opposing coach after these games, that has not crept into your locker room at all?
No, I think it's something that we just got to go handle business on the field. That's the only thing we can do. I'm not one to sit around and talk a big game. It's about handling business and stand on actions, stand on business. So we'll do that. We'll handle business and see them when we see them.
Find everything you need on the Packers heading into the regular season over on ESPN.com. Then the Milwaukee Brewers back in action after their historic win last night. First pitch tonight is at 6:40 p.m. Tune in right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Jim Rutledge.
I'm sorry, you are not serious about winning football games and winning a Super Bowl and going deep into the playoffs if you don't have a kicker.
Molly Brown.
You should be going further than getting a 7 seed and not winning a playoff game. That is a fact. You should be getting further with this team that you have.
Welcome to Wisconsin's afternoon hangout.
BS say that Jordan Love's the 10th best quarterback
I'm not feeding
in the league.
into you talking about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It does have something to do
Go
with
for it.
Best quarterback.
But I literally agreed with you.
Player,
Okay, but here's the thing. I agreed with you saying that Jordan Love is the one holding them back.
Yes.
Move on.
All right. So.
Okay,
all right,
thank you.
You're feisty today. All
no,
right.
I'm just telling you.
This is Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
I may not believe in Bigfoot, but I do believe in Luke Fickell.
Alongside Riley Jauch, here's Jim Rutledge.
Welcome into Molly and Jim. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. We are presented by Coors Light, so that means the mountains are always blue, and sometimes we are chill. If I'm not mistaken, we are not on the air on Friday, right?
No, we are not.
Brewers baseball going on there. We're all going to be hanging out in a suite for Brewers baseball. Are you coming?
When is this? Is that this
you're
Friday?
not coming? Yeah, you're not coming?
No, because I have to call Oak Creek versus Verona, or get to call Oak Creek versus Verona. I'm genuinely very excited about the return of football in general and high school football getting to be back on the play-by-play circuit. So that's going to rock.
I will be in a suite.
You will be in a suite.
With some of our great partners here at ESPN Madison as far as supporters of the Milwaukee Brewers, who beat the snot out of Seattle yesterday, 22-0. We got Lane Grindle coming up a little bit later. We got Brewers baseball against Seattle coming up a little bit later. And you know what? I want to start there. 22-0. It's just it's too much. I get it. It's fun. But Riley, I don't know the answer to this question, but I know you're a diehard of all diehards.
Yes.
At some point in this game, you had to have been like, okay, like we can this is over.
So I mean, I knew it was over. I was just checking. I was busy. I wasn't watching the game after I think the first 2 innings.
Practice yesterday?
No, I wasn't at Badgers practice.
No. You're a Badger guy.
I know.
Everyone was anyone could go to Badger practice yesterday.
I know. Anyone could. And our great teammate, host of Wisconsin College Game Day pregame show, Adam Mertz, was there. He was getting the scoop for us. I believe I've been to 8 of the 11 practices.
Oh, this is just excuse making.
It was 7:40 when it finally started. My girlfriend invited me over. I had previously told her no because of this practice, but then all the delays, I was like,
so you get
know
to be
what?
like, you
I'm
got
just
to
gonna hang out
under-promise and over-deliver with your girlfriend. All right.
That's exactly what happened. It ended up great. I don't think nothing groundbreaking from what I have read and seen happened at Badgers practice that I hadn't already seen. So I don't think I missed anything. So I was paying attention to the Brewers game on my phone.
Okay.
I listened to the first 2 innings on the radio, heard the call of Jake Bauers knocking the ball out of Cal Raleigh's glove, scoring the first run. It was awesome. Then the next time I check my phone after 1-0, it's 11-0. And I'm like, okay, this game's over in the 6th inning or whatever it is. And then I get the final score notification. I see 22-0. And I'm like, oh my gosh. That's a bigger margin of victory than the Packers had all of last season. Their biggest win was 17 points. Brewers won by 22.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
I mean, honestly, you're a psychopath if you're listening or watching or even staying at the end of that game. Like, I mean, what are we doing? But I mean, just get on with your day. I think, obviously, like Seattle didn't want to be in that game. Their center fielder just threw the ball into the stands because he lost track. They're running out positional players. So, I mean, even the players were, like, just playing out the string. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to get to start the show. 844-770-3776. It's Carbos Talk text line. This is more. It's a fantastic place to be as a sports fan. The closest thing I think I've seen to this in person was when the Badgers, it felt like 100-0 when they beat Nebraska at the Big Ten title.
Oh,
Big
yeah,
Ten
the
championship game.
70-35 game or
and they
31
ran
game.
the same damn play over to Melvin Gordon.
Jet sweep every single
Yeah.
time. Did you feel that same way in the 2011 at Camp Randall too, the 48-17?
Yes.
Or the 70-3 Indiana game.
Yes.
83-20.
I was at those as well, but that Nebraska one really just felt. I think that one was because there was like a little bit of pomp and circumstance. Like, all right, I'm on a Big Ten title. Like, I'm going to get a game. And I was actually annoyed. I'm like, no, just like playing out the string here. Like, I'm going to turn on, like, watch something else on my computer. Like, this, there's nothing to take out of this.
It's just an absolute, utter destruction.
Yeah, and we'll talk with Lane a little bit later, and I am curious to see how you handle these 22-0 games. But, Matt Hamilton, who is then normally on Tuesdays, he'll be in tomorrow, obviously a professional curler, Olympic curler, and he has talked about before in curling, even at the highest levels, that you will do basically like a gentleman's agreement at some point and just call the match when it is either completely mathematically impossible for someone to like come back and win or like a 1% chance. The polite thing to do, I think the rude thing to do is try to play that out. The polite thing to do is just say, hey, let's call it and let's move on. Let's call it a night and let's go have some Coors Lights.
Yeah.
And I think in baseball and other sports, it's kind of called like a mercy rule. And I think there's something to be said with player protection, keeping interest in the game. It's never going to happen because baseball is the most statty of all sports. You got to be able to just play out the string and have all the stats. But I do think there's a case to be made for some sort of, white flag or mercy rule in baseball.
I think there's certainly a case. Personally, I really don't like the idea of a mercy rule. I like just having the 9 innings, no time limit, the classic. However, statistically, there have been more and more of these over the past 5 to 10 years. I believe the Mariners set a record, a major league record, it wasn't just the first or the largest shutout victory since 1900, tied for the largest. That's obviously a record. But the Mariners set a record for most pitches thrown under 40 miles an hour. The position players pitching, the waving of the white flag by the managers is becoming increasingly more common. So I do think if you're going to create a mercy rule for baseball, just give the managers an option to say, hey, we're done. Like, I think after the 5th inning, I don't think there should be a run limit. But if it gets to the point where a manager is putting in a position player to pitch on either side, because rarely does it get to the point where both teams are throwing position players out there, there's zero chance of a comeback, then the manager should just be able to go to the umpire, hey, it's the 8th inning, we're down by 20, we're done.
Yeah,
let's wrap it up.
To make sure everything's above board, there could be thresholds that had to be met.
Yeah, it has to be a 15-run lead.
Whatever the number is, and so that could be part of it. Also, yes, because basically what is happening is the mercy rule is put into place unofficially when the positional players come in. Mm-hmm. That's when they're calling it. That's when the game is over. And look, anytime you put a player outside of their normal realm of what they're doing, you're putting them slightly at risk. So I am for the mercy rule in baseball, the white flag rule in baseball, because, look, what are they doing extra innings now? That has been changed. They put a runner at second base. And so they're already affecting some of the way the stats are tracked there. And look, that could be part of the equation if you want. That's fine. Like if you have a player pushing for an all-time record in RBI, home runs,
you don't forfeit the game. You keep it going. Yeah.
But I think there are, like last night, I can't imagine a more perfect game to forfeit. Seattle's cooked. They don't have anyone really set to do anything. And maybe, you know what? Maybe make it after the 7th. Games move fast enough now. So, like, look, after the 7th, if it's a 10-run lead, call it. Like, it still has to be agreed upon by both sides. Mm-hmm. But go ahead and call it, and everyone get home a little bit earlier, players included. I mean, that's an advantage as well. You're not all of a sudden putting players into weird positions or having to burn a bullpen arm. And I really think it's advantageous for baseball. And I don't know how many times it would happen. I don't think there's an easy way to look this up, but like how many times is a team up 10 by more than 10 runs going in like after the 7th inning stretch? So like right in that time, like because if you're the home team, you could do it right there. And what a way to end the game! Like that's within a stretch, and then everyone just kind of
leaves.
Yeah, they stop serving alcohol at that point for most places. So like, just call the game then if both teams are good with it.
Yeah, I think that would have to be the threshold. You want to at least get to the 7th inning stretch. I was talking about this with Jesse Nelson, host or producer of Wilde and Tausch earlier, and he was saying fans want to see 7th inning stretch. I think most teams, if they have a tradition, it typically happens in the 6th inning to avoid conflicting with the 7th inning stretch. I don't really know of any teams that have anything major that would be interrupted in the 8th or 9th innings. So you reach that 7th inning, the top of the 7th threshold. Both teams say, yes, we are okay with this. The manager that's losing has to be the one that initiates. Just, nope. We're cutting it off like when they go out and do an intentional walk. Yep. Just no, we're done, and then everyone goes home happy.
Quick research, according to Baseball Savant, an MLB team leading by 10 or more runs by the middle of the 7th inning has a win probability effectively greater than 99.9% chance.
Okay, so I think that's a good threshold
I think
to agree upon.
Yeah, it's right there.
You're
going
guaranteed to win.
After the 7th inning stretch, going into it, it's a 99.9% chance you're going to win. And it still doesn't mean you have to end the game there, but that's the threshold of if the home team or whatever team, like if you're down by 10 and you're willing to wave the flag and kind of just do the wave and call it, should be able to call it because you're missing a few outs and that's a long enough game where maybe you're affecting one more at bat for someone. But if it affects that at bat, then just keep it fine.
I do think, to play devil's advocate, I think you do miss some of the funny moments of position players pitching, and you miss potentially a cool moment like Luis Lara hitting his first career MLB home run last night.
Like honestly, I would make the case opposite that Luis Lara is robbed of a true first career home run when he's hitting it off a positional player. Like obviously, congrats to him. He's going to hit a lot more, but like it's kind of a bummer for him that his first is off a positional player. It looked like softball out there.
It did look like softball, but the Mariners, I understand they had checked out by the top of the 9th, but they couldn't put up a run on Gary Sanchez, who was pitching in the 9th.
There's no argument. Again, it goes back to then have the mercy rule. The Mariners had checked out, I think, before they arrived. Like, I mean, this team is having a rough season. It's not taking away anything from the Brewers. Like, you go out there and you handle your business. You beat the snot out of them. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. But in this scenario, I do think that a mercy rule could just keep teams a little bit safer, a little bit fresher, and I think very specific. Like, again, I think we set our mercy rule as you have to be leading by more. One team has to be leading by more than 10. It cannot be before the bottom of the 7th, and the losing team has to initiate it.
Yep. I think that is a perfectly fair, reasonable expectation if Major League Baseball was to institute a mercy rule. I'd be curious, how often does that happen? Because I feel you'd get it maybe 10 to 20 times a year.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to change the overall.
I don't think that would interrupt.
I'm not trying to change the game
of a season.
I'm just trying to clean it up a little bit once in a while when you get those positional players out there. Because if a positional player's out there for both teams, we all know that this is all just a joke at this point.
Yeah, and at this point, you're just trying to set records that haven't been broken since 1900.
Right, and I don't even know if the Brewers are trying to do that. They're just going out there playing ball, but this is what's going to happen. And again, it's not taken away from the record because probably the last time it happened, there was positional players pitching. So the point is that wasn't after the 7th inning. I would imagine that wasn't a lot of fun for anyone, including the players.
Probably not.
Those guys grind. Just think of yourself when you get the chance to go home early randomly. Mm-hmm. Again, the players I can get home 2 hours early, like you talked about. You under promise, over deliver for your girlfriend. All of a sudden, you're home a couple hours early.
Hey, and everyone's happy. Everyone's fired up.
Yeah, so it's just, or you can hang out a little bit more with your pals in the locker room and have.
And I'm assuming if any team scored 10 runs in the game, you're not skimping out on game time or length either. No. You at least have gone 2.5 hours. It's not an hour-long game unless someone has a monumental first inning, then becomes a pitcher's duel after that. So I think we solved the MLB mercy rule issue.
All right, 844-770-3776. That's the Carbo Stock text line. This is more. Our signing limited poll question is, should baseball have a mercy rule? We'll talk with Lane Grindle about that a little bit later. But don't forget to check out my good friends at Carbon World Health. Ask them about hormone replacement treatment, cryotherapy. Also, they have the Med Spa in Sun Prairie with the hydrofacials. They have red light therapy at their location in Madison, along with a fantastic gym there. So whatever it is your goals are, you can accomplish them at Carbon World Health.
Molly and Jim rolls on after this.
I'm not a huge cigarette guy, but as they say, drunk cigs don't count. So
on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
My dad says locks and cameras help protect buildings, but security is really about protecting people.
Hi, this is Jeffrey Beckman, owner at J&K Security Solutions. Protecting people is at the heart of everything we do. From fire alarms and surveillance systems to access control and intelligent video monitoring, J&K has helped keep homes and businesses safe across southern Wisconsin since 1987. Visit jksecurity.com.
J&K Security Solutions. Security with a personal touch.
Hey, it's Molly Brown. And let's be honest, between work, kids, and everything else life throws at me, I'm always looking for a little extra energy. That's why I love ZOA Energy. It's made with natural ingredients, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, so I get that boost I need without the crash or jitters. Plus, there are tons of great flavors. It's vegan, gluten-free, and even low in sugar, so it fits right into my busy, health-conscious routine. So grab a ZOA Energy, fuel your body, focus your mind, and take on your day like a champ.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
I love the group. I love the guys we got. We've been together for a couple years now. It's not our first rodeo together.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're talking about practice situations.
That's the mindset. That's the goal for us, is to be able to go out there and finish.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Earlier in the calendar year, Brian Gutekunst made a trade with the Indianapolis Colts to acquire veteran linebacker Zaire Franklin to help bolster the year one defense led by new defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon. Franklin has gotten in a couple scraps over the course of the last few Packers training camp practices and says that his mentality on the field is he wants to be an alpha.
My mentality in between the white lines is ultra competitive, like ultimate alpha. Like I want to challenge the best, the biggest. I don't want a little guy. I want to go against the baddest out there. That's how I feel.
With the Green and Gold Fix, I'm Alex Strofe.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
ESPN Madison's Mark Tauscher here for Outdoor Living Unlimited. Well, my wife and I chose Outdoor Living Unlimited to build our outdoor project. When we met with Aaron and Eric Brown, owners and brothers of Outdoor Living Unlimited, we felt like they were the right guys to work with. We share the same hardworking values, and their showroom is a must-see at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. If you're looking for a new deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, and more, Outdoor Living Unlimited is a must. Start with OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com and end with an amazing outdoor space.
At Chalmers Jewelers, your jewelry never leaves our hands.
All repair work is done right here in-house by our 4 master goldsmiths, ensuring expert care, precision, and security every step of the way.
From ring sizing and stone replacement to restoring worn or damaged pieces, we bring new life to your most treasured jewelry.
Chalmers Jewelers,
where craftsmanship lives
and your memories are restored.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You're listening to Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
We are asking you, should there be a mercy rule in baseball? Adam and Moho chimes in. My argument this morning at work was they're professionals. They get paid to keep the other team from scoring. They didn't do that last night. I don't mind when huge blowouts happen. And Rob echoes Adam's comments.
I think that's fair.
I get what you're saying.
There are some fun moments that happen in giant blowouts.
I don't think we're not doing this for the players' sake. It's more for like fans' sake. And I know I mentioned like, oh, you get to go home early, and like everyone likes a surprise break. But I don't think this would happen to every team one time during the course of a year.
No, I don't think. No, it happened to the Brewers once this season, where I think they under our rules created mercy rules, they would have been able to forfeit.
Has to be no earlier than the bottom of the 7th. Has to be the team trailing by more than 10 runs, and it has to be the team that's trailing to request the game to have the mercy rule. So you can continue to chime in on that, and. Not so much a mercy rule, but Packers fans and the Packers players definitely wish that football games ended after 3 quarters after last year. And Jordan Love was on Rich Eisen, and obviously there's some of their games against the Bears, and that reinvigorated rivalry there. And that's all because Chicago finally is holding up their end of the rivalry, because before that, the Packers would just beat the snot out of them regularly. Jordan Love was asked about the Bears. Let's hear about it.
The way that Matt LaFleur has been handled, if you will, by the opposing coach after these games, that has not crept into your locker room at all?
No, I think it's something that we just got to go handle business on the field. That's the only thing we can do. I'm not one to sit around and talk a big game. It's about handling business and stand on actions, stand on business. So we'll do that. We'll handle business and see them when we see them.
Standing on actions. Standing on actions. That's what I want my quarterback, as a fan of the Green Bay Packers, to say. You're coming off of 2 brutal losses to the Chicago Bears. The first one, he didn't even play the overtime drive for the Packers. Malik Willis was in for that, and I would certainly not put the blame on him. But regardless, 2 very humbling losses to your arch rival in games with massive, massive implications. I am glad he didn't come out and say, oh, yeah, Ben Johnson, screw you too. Yeah, we're coming. We're going to kick the crap out of him this season, blah, blah, blah. 1, because that's not him. 2, because you lost. You got beat. You got humbled twice last year by the Chicago Bears. I like that mentality. Actions over words. We're going to prove it on the field. We believe we're better. We're gonna win. We're gonna win this year. We'll show you.
And I don't mind that, and I don't mind it from Jordan Love. The issue I kind of take here, or the concern I would have if I'm a Packers fan, is I feel like that's the answer for everyone on that team, and I think you need, especially on the defensive side of the ball, as many irrational, confidence, loose cannon guys that you can find when they step on the football field. And Jordan Love, good and bad echoes on the football field, how he sounds in the press, and that is someone who is level-headed. And that's great. And level-headed is something that I think is really good, but is there a case to be made that there's not the extra gear that he goes into, that lock-in mode that other quarterbacks have, that all of a sudden you hear these stories about how they just play different. They're built different, and you've been around it. You've rooted for it. You saw it with Aaron Rodgers. Like, you know the difference between the game in the fourth quarter when Aaron Rodgers was your quarterback and Jordan Love right now. I'm not saying – I don't know if Jordan Love will get there or not. We don't make definitive statements on it, but we can see that Aaron Rodgers, by this point in his career, who would have had a Super Bowl and MVP under his belt, was a guy that I know on the other side of it I was terrified of because no lead was safe, no game was safe. Hell, I mean, what was it, the Khalil Mack game? He goes out and comes back like he's Rocky, Willis Reed style, and comes back and wins that game. Now,
Aaron Rodgers was just on a different level.
And that's my whole point all the time with the Jordan Love conversation, is that we can't, all I'm saying is I'm not expecting him to take himself to that level. Like, he could just be very good and not be the freak of competitive nature and physical nature that Aaron Rodgers was. But a lot of people talk about like this idea of alpha and beta and omega and delta. And I was up north, and I was at the Wolves enclosure up north, and they actually broke down some of the types of wolves. So I want to ask you, and you can chime in 844-770-3776. Carl Talk text line list is more. First, where do you put the personality of Jordan Love as far as a wolf? And so there's the Omega Wolf. And actually, while I'm doing this, if there's someone that jumps into your head on the Packers team that fits this, just throw them out there. An Omega Wolf is the lowest ranking member who acts as a social release valve, absorbs tension, and initiates play to reduce overall pack conflict. So that's Matt Hamilton on this show.
Yeah, but so a prankster, a jokester, a goofball.
Yeah.
But lowest on the totem pole.
And like that part, like, it's a little bit more aggressive than I've seen other places. It's more about like just someone that like they're there to kind of just bridge the gap between all of the types of wolves. I don't know if we don't have. I don't know if the Packers have anyone. I'm not saying they don't.
No one's really jumping out to me in my mind is sort of the pressure release valve, like when everyone's really clenched up and tight that comes in, who's maybe not the best player on the team, but like, hey guys, relax.
Like, I almost think
know.
but it's funny. Like, I feel like Bakhtiari, even though he's higher ranking,
good,
he was kind of that type of player. Though you can make that case. Tauscher might have been that as well. Of someone that, look, they're locked in. They're the ones that can kind of be the connective tissue of the team.
See, I'd say Tucker Kraft on the offensive side of the ball, but he is such an aggressive.
I think we got a different.
I think he has a different designation.
So there's Delta Wolves, mid-ranking members who help patrol borders, take in coordinated group hunts, and care for injured pack mates.
Offensive linemen.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the. I think that's a lot of the Packer players. I think a lot of them could just fall into this Delta role. A lot of NFL players. So then you go to the Beta Wolves. Which, like, for example, Omega Wolf, obviously Travis Kelce, not low ranking, but he could fall into that.
Yeah, goofy, fun guy, lightens the mood.
There's the Beta Wolf, second in command, and is subordinate to the Alpha, but enforces pack decisions, maintains discipline, guide younger and lower ranking members. And please put this the right way. I'm not saying that Jordan Love is a beta.
When you read the description, that seems to match Jordan Love's personality. It's just a terrible phrase.
Right, but that's because also, like, second in command, like, to me, I just think that Jordan Love is the perfect lieutenant to, in this case, and I'm not sure that Matt LaFleur has his personality, but just by his title and the play calling, Matt LaFleur on the offense is the alpha because he's calling all the plays, and Jordan Love, his personality and all of it is very much of sir, yes, sir, which is what you want out of a lot of great players. And I'm not saying that's a detriment to him. My issue with the Packers is offensively, there's one guy on the offense, and I think you need more than one on offense and a lot more than one on defense that I would say is a true alpha, and that's Tucker Kraft.
Yes, I think Tucker Kraft is certainly, if you look at that sort of abrasive leadership, intense personality, Tucker Kraft certainly fits that mold better than anyone else on the offensive side of the ball for the Packers. But push back a little bit on the Jordan Love just being a sir, yes, sir guy.
Yeah.
While I do think that description for the most part fits, one of the other things he said on the Rich Eisen Show was Rich asked him what it was like working with Matt LaFleur, and does he ever he asked him, does he ever push back on him? And he said yes, all the time in meetings.
Right.
And he'll ask, and Jordan Love, if he sees something he likes that he wants to rip off that another team utilized or something along those lines, he'll throw that out there.
Well,
he'll put plays into the game plan. So I do think he has a lot of leadership capability.
And again, I don't read this as someone who isn't. It's second in command who really only answers to the alpha and enforces pack decisions and maintains discipline. To me, like in this scenario, Jordan Love is someone who's working with Matt LaFleur, just like a lieutenant does too. So again, it's not a rip on Jordan Love. I mean, I let's just go around the actual like NFC North. Let's just look at the North and the quarterbacks in the NFC North. I wouldn't call Kyler Murray.
No.
I wouldn't call Jared Goff, and I wouldn't call Caleb Williams, any of them true alphas on their team. I don't know offensively for the Vikings. I don't know the team enough. I don't know their personality enough. But for me on offense, if you're picking it, Dan Campbell's still an offensive-minded coach. I mean, he came in as a tight ends coach. So, like, I just think the entire team it's Dan Campbell as the alpha and then a bunch of really talented beta wolves in this thing as well. Chicago, it's Ben Johnson. Like, the alpha of that offense is Ben Johnson, without question. Like, it is their personality. Like, it is his personality that is imprinted on the Bears. Just like Dan Campbell's personality is imprinted on the Lions. And I would say that Matt LaFleur's offense is still the big fingerprint of the Packers. But if you juxtapose that to, let's say, Aaron Rodgers, I would say Aaron Rodgers was the imprint and the driver of the Packers. Like, the offense was in his image.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, like, that's to me where I draw, like, the difference there. So I'm not saying there's any quarterback in the North that is that true alpha where they are driving the offense. It is the offense driven by the head coach, and each quarterback is that number one lieutenant. And I'm not – it's the personality stuff side.
I think more of what we're learning here is that as a society, we have changed the true meaning of what a beta means in terms of nature.
Well, also alpha, it's the lore is they're ruthless, dominant dictators. In reality, they're their families, and he's more of like the parent,
the head.
Or they are like the parent who leads the hunt, cares for the pups, guides the family peacefully. Again, that falls in the North much to the coaches. And I think there's only a hand, probably Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Am I missing someone else who you'd say like the offense is in their image?
Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of the best offense. I don't think Justin Herbert falls into that category.
No way. Not
what about
Jim
Lamar? What about Lamar Jackson?
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
And again, I don't know. This year is a new head coach. I don't know. I don't know what that team will look like, but it's a good name. So we'll kind of circle back on it. I just find it kind of interesting here. I want to look at it because for me, it's on defense that you want. You want as many alphas as you can in that room, and I think alphas like
strides.
Irrational confidence guys who are going to just not ever give an inch. I like that a lot on defense. We'll talk with Lane Grindle coming up here in a second because I want to ask him about a mercy rule. Is there mercy in the dojo for the Milwaukee Brewers? Next.
You're hanging out with Molly and Jim.
So anytime anyone says diarrhea, in my head, my brain goes, cha-cha-cha.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Simple, affordable business technology solutions from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Listen to Bryce Clark, co-owner of Capital Lock, a local Madison business.
James Imaging Systems, they helped find the solution that worked for us, both the software and hardware solution paired together that makes things incredibly more efficient.
More efficiency. Does that mean you and your staff are saving time?
I would say between 20 to 40 hours a week.
That must make a real operational difference at Capital Lock.
Obviously, the more time we have to dedicate to other jobs or other things, it makes life so much easier.
Bryce, what's your advice to other local businesses?
First of all, you got to find the right partner.
Like James Imaging Systems?
Oh, absolutely. Very proactive, solutions-based, and obviously really friendly and great people to work with.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. That's jamesimaging.com.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Molly and Jim. I never thought I'd have to design a second wedding ring, but after losing my original, that's exactly where I found myself. And Jim at Condon Jewelers made the whole experience feel special instead of stressful. I got to sit down with Jim, talk through what I loved about my old ring, and actually be part of designing something that felt like me. And now I absolutely love my new ring. It's beautiful, it's personal, and there's a story behind it. If you're looking for something that feels completely your own, Jim at Condon Jewelers is the person I'd trust to help you create it.
Trent here from Canopy Wealth Management. We're often asked, when's the right time to work with a financial advisor? The answer is always simple, now. Whether you're building wealth, nearing retirement, or already retired, the Canopy team can help you gain clarity around your goals, resources, and path to financial independence. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's our promise. Get started at canopy-wealth.com.
Paid for by Canopy Wealth Management. Canopy Wealth Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC.
There's a spirit you can only find in Door County, and Door County Distillery bottles it. Hey, it's Riley Jauch. Locally made in Carlsville, Door County Distillery crafts small batch spirits with Wisconsin ingredients and the flavors that make Door County unforgettable. From brandy, gin, whiskey, and my favorite, cherry vodka, my dad makes a mean cherry mule, to cocktails, tastings, tours, and more. It's a true Door County experience. Visit Door County Distillery in Carlsville or find your local retailer and more at doorcountydistillery.com.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited with my brother and business partner, Eric Brown. Siding Unlimited is Madison's choice for siding, windows, roofing, and doors.
Siding Unlimited delivers on expectations because our experience, integrity, and craftsmanship come through on every project.
For new siding, windows, roofing, and doors, call 608-220-0005 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Brian Butch here. From high school All-American to Division I to the pros, I've always respected people who put in the work. And Labor Day is about exactly that. From August 19th through September 8th, get 40% off all Iron Jock gear with a minimum purchase of $50 using code ESPN40. Excludes clearance and gift cards. Our gear is moisture wicking, anti-static, built with 4-way stretch, and powered by Silver Ion technology to help eliminate odor-causing bacteria. Iron Jock, built on performance, built to last, built in Wisconsin. Shop the Labor Day sale now at ironjock.com.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Time to kick off the high school football season. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Join the dean, Dennis Semrau, and me Thursday night for Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. The reigning Division II state champion West De Pere Phantoms visit the Sun Prairie East Cardinals. Kickoff in Sun Prairie's at 7 o'clock.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Thanks for spending your afternoon with Molly and Jim on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A masterpiece from the Miz!
The voice of the Brewers.
And a fly ball to center, hit well. Friedel back at the track, at the wall. Joey goes deep!
and man of many accents.
And he's like, no, Ma, he's got too much torque on his swing. And I was just like, what is going on? I don't know if you guys have caught on yet or not. I don't do accents.
It's Lane Grindle on Mully and Jim.
You know what's always delicious? Tossing it over to Lane Grindle for some play-by-play in the third. Go get him, Tasty.
Tasty joins us now on the Yuengling guest hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America, and now officially in Wisconsin. Lane, how we doing?
Doing great. Beautiful day at American Family Field, and we'll see if there's 22 runs in the Brewers again tonight.
So what's it like calling a game like that?
Ask Levering, because he had 20 of the 22 runs during his innings.
Wow.
So I had this normal 2-0 game in my innings, and Jeff had all the chaos. So, ask Levering about that. You know what? I will tell you that at the end of that game, and we've seen this. You see this every year over 162. There's these games where things get out of hand, position players come in and pitch, and it gets a little goofy, right? Like, there's no way to avoid that. It's not. I don't think it has to be uncomfortable. I think you just embrace it and have fun with it, regardless of which side you're on. Too, by the way, you can have some fun with it even if you're on the losing side. It gives you a little levity, frankly, in what was otherwise a disappointing night. And because baseball is an every night thing, and there's always another game 24 hours away, basically, I think you can get away with that a little bit, but. I did cringe when Julio threw the ball out of play. I hated to see that. I hate that for him because I like him as a player a lot. I think he's a great personality for our sport. He plays the game with this youthful flair that I just really enjoy. And I know that bugged him. He probably shook it off because he's a pro and he's a great player. But I'm sure that bugged him because there's a way you want to play the game, and that wasn't it. But it's hard to stay locked in. I get it. In a situation like that one.
At what point as a broadcaster in a game like that do you stop focusing so much on the minute details of the action and maybe start telling some more fun stories or messing around a little bit more in the booth? And was there anything that we may have missed from the broadcast yesterday that you don't hear in a typical broadcast?
Well... Yeah, we're not breaking down a lot of swings in the 8th and 9th inning of games like that. That's just not where you're going. We don't do a ton of that anyway, but we're definitely not doing that in a game like that because we don't have a former player in the booth. So there's not like a lot of that in the first place with the way we do our radio broadcast. But, there's always some stuff that happens. I mean, usually it has something to do with the North Shore adult diaper ad.
Right, yep.
But the shenanigans get more and more out there when games like that are going on. There weren't that many in-game pitching changes, though, believe it or not, for a 22-0 game. So we only had a couple of shots at that deal. But, yeah, if you were listening, you got it. And I spent part of my day-to-day because – there's like a little bit of pressure to be creative with that. Mm-hmm. And I realized that for like about a 2 or 3 week stretch now, I'm just like out. I'm like, I went too hard early and now I'm like out of the well, doesn't have like anything creative or unique. And so I spent some time today, like writing like I'm writing for a sitcom because Levering's had some really good ones lately. And then that makes you want to step up your game. So I was like, okay, I got to get some stuff like ready to go here for the next time we have an in-game pitching change, depending on the situation. Because, if it's a close game and it's like a pressure-packed situation, there's a way you go with that read. But if it's a disaster, you can lean into the fact that it's a disaster in your pants too. So, there's ways that you can do it.
Yeah, I think, and it's not a direct inspiration, but I think if you watch some of those old action movies from the 90s, even like Speed, just for those one-liners, or like Law and Order, like before they would start, that have some really weird one-liner, I think it can kind of like just get you in the mindset of these weird zingers that had come out of nowhere that make, like in Speed, when the guy's head gets ripped off, he's like, "But I'm taller," and then the guy gets decapitated. like those kind of lines in movies, like could just get you kind of set up for those zingy one-liners. There, that might be a way to get you in the right mood for it. But like we were kicking around the idea of a mercy rule in baseball, and it obviously won't happen. But I wanted to know what you thought of our proposal of We thought it could be no earlier than the bottom of the 7th. It had to be the team had to be trailing by more than 10 runs, and it had to be the losing team to initiate. And Owen looked up. Where did you find the stat from?
Baseball Savant page.
Yes, Baseball Savant, and it was like 99.99% chance that the team up by 10 runs in the bottom of the 7th would win. And so I don't think it'll ever happen, but to me, that's where we thought of because in Matt Hamilton, who fills in sometimes in curling, when it's statistically impossible or that 99.9% chance, even at high-level competition, the other team just says, hey, we can call this, and we don't need to play this out. So I don't get there in baseball, but what are your thoughts on the idea?
Well, I'm very in favor of it, and I'm grateful for it in youth baseball.
Yeah.
I hope it sticks around for a long time. I don't think we'll ever see it in the big leagues. I get the argument for it, and I've seen some sentiment even from some players that have been like, what are we doing here? Like, this is silly, but I don't think you'll ever get to it. We did do some 7-inning games in spring training when we were coming back from COVID and when we were getting things rolling again in 22, coming off the CBA negotiation, and we kind of started late, and it was a quicker ramp up. And you'd roll innings at times during spring training. Like, that was awesome for spring training, but obviously you wouldn't want to do that stuff during the regular season. I just think you'll have a hard time ever getting anywhere with that because of record books and everything else, and fans that want to be there. And believe it or not, as goofy as the end of that game was for a lot of people last night, for more people, I think it was enjoyable. Like, if you're in the crowd and you're a fan, I think they're loving it. They think it's awesome. So I just don't see any momentum for something like that ever happening, but I totally get the sentiment. I do.
Lane, you mentioned player sentiment in there. From your gauge, how are they feeling today? I mean, obviously it's way better to be on the winning side of a 22-0 game, but it's still one game out of 162, and you got to come back and you got to try and win a series tonight. How have you seen them respond to the game last night, and how do you think they're feeling and recovering today?
I think that's one of the great strengths of this team specifically, is that they can have heartbreaking losses and come back for a day game the next day, and you're thinking, how are they going to pick themselves off the mat and be ready to go? And sometimes those are their best performances. You remember when Ozzie Albies walked them off in Atlanta on kind of a cheap fly ball that just barely got out. And you're like, how did that even happen? And the next day they come back and they're all over Bryce Elder in the first couple of innings of that game to salvage a game out of that series. The other way is true, too. The Brewers could have been kind of content with winning the first 2 out of 3 in L.A., but they came back and put the pedal to the metal on Sunday and took care of business against Tarek Skubal. I just think that this team understands that whole win tonight mentality that's been preached to them by their manager for the last 3 years. And so they're very, very good at turning the page, whether it was a great win the night before, a lapper like it was last night, or a tough loss that's just hard to move on from, that maybe they lost some sleep over. I think when they get to the ballpark, they understand what their business is for that day.
So with that, obviously all these baseball players, and you included, you're baseball fans. And I don't want to say scoreboard watching, but how much at this time of year do players start paying attention maybe a little bit more if there's a day game or if something's happening and they have the time to see it? Because, again, if you're playing baseball, you love baseball. If you're around baseball, you love baseball. So it's not like they're sticking their head in the sand. It's not like they're biting their fingernails with these games. But how much is consumed? How much of these players are aware of what's happening around them in the National League or the American League?
Yeah, they may not talk about it a lot, but they see it. The games are on in the clubhouse. And that's one of the unique things about being in the NL Central and the Brewers and Cubs being the 2 teams that have been competing at the top of this division for quite a while, is that the Cubs play a ton of day games. Mm-hmm. So if you're in the clubhouse getting ready to do your work, go out and hit, and you're keeping an eye on the Cubs game. It's just natural. There's not a lot of conversation about it, but it's there. You can't avoid it. It's 2026. I mean, I personally, it's different for me. I'm watching every second, and I'm into it. I was watching the other night, and I couldn't believe the White Sox pitched to PCA. And it was a day off for the Brewers, but I was dialed into that game. It was great. It was great entertainment. It was great theater. So I know these guys watch it, but they can't let themselves be preoccupied with it. There's a difference. I mean, you can consume it It can be a part of your routine and part of your day, but you have to understand that the priority for you is taking care of your business, because the Brewers have done a great job of putting themselves in the driver's seat here, but it's a tough grind down the stretch here. There's a lot of road games coming up. There's another 16 games in 16 days on the horizon after this trip to Williamsport too. So they've got their own challenges that they have to take care of.
Lane, Cooper Pratt is back in the lineup for the first time in a while tonight. What does he mean to this team, and how excited is the squad to get him back?
Well, I think very, very much so. It makes the left side so good defensively. I mean, Cooper has really afforded himself well defensively. Of course, I think you can look at the numbers and see that he's more than held his own offensively in his small amount of time in the big leagues. But it then slides Joey over to third, and I mean, that is as good as it gets on the left side of the infield. And now Joey's hitting too, which is even that much better. So it's a really big deal. They haven't had these two together in a long time, because remember, Joey had the little neck issue on the last homestand. So they've been missing both of these guys. They haven't had them both for a while on the left side of the infield. So I think they're excited to have these guys back together tonight.
A lot's made, and rightfully so, of the Brewers pitching lab and all that. But I do think there's something to be said. And you can see this a little bit with Peralta when he went out to the Mets, and their defense was horrendous. The Brewers have an above-average defense, a top defense, and I think that, one, gives pitchers confidence, but then, two, helps them, like, tangibly with plays that are made by the spectacular defense. I feel like sometimes the defense doesn't get enough credit for how good the pitching is for the Milwaukee Brewers.
I totally agree. I don't know that we could give it enough credit, to be honest with you. These guys come over here, they get a play or pitch in front of this defense, and they're like, whoa, this is a totally different deal. Balls that are finding the grass in the outfield, balls that are sneaking through the infield. They just aren't getting through now with this group behind me. So you always hear it from guys that have been in other organizations that come over, especially in the middle of the season, because it's a night and day difference. And that's the one thing the two teams at the top of this division both have, is great defense in the Brewers and Cubs. And probably no secret that those are two of the best teams in baseball right now. And that's why they play a kind of a consistent brand. The Cubs had that long losing streak early in the year, but outside of that, they played consistent baseball all season long, because even though the offense might go up and down, and the same thing with the Brewers. The Brewers, when you're depending on hitting with runners in scoring position, which the Brewers have to do more than most teams because they don't hit a lot of home runs, that's going to come and go at times over the course of the season. But if you're in every game, you're going to find a way to win a lot of those games, even if you're not hitting with runners in scoring position. And the way you are in every game is that you pitch it and you play great defense. And that's what the Brewers do. And that travels and that stays with you pretty much all season long. And that's why they win a lot of low-scoring games, even in the stretches where maybe they're not swinging at their best.
Going back to, you mentioned Joey Ortiz is now finally starting to hit, and I don't know if he's still number one, but I'm sure he's still up near the top of the best hitters in baseball since July 4th in Major League Baseball. How big is that for this team, and how much more dangerous does that make the Brewers if Ortiz can continue to swing a hot bat as we approach September and postseason?
Yeah, it lengthens the lineup significantly, because you got Lara and Pratt down there as well, and of course they've been good and they've had their moments offensively too. You think about 2024, Pat Murphy's first year, the bottom third of the order was a big part of the reason that Brewers team had the success that it had. It was one of the best combined OPSs in baseball, 7, 8, and 9. And they didn't get out to that kind of start last year, and Joey had his struggles offensively that kind of lasted all season long. Although if you go look at the numbers on Joey last year, he was much better in the second half, really from about mid-June on. It wasn't like a big offensive player, but it was a much more serviceable offensive player. He just had that disastrous start to the year, kind of like he did again this year. Now, this is more than a serviceable offensive player. This is a difference-making offensive player for about the last 5 weeks from Joey Ortiz. So it gives it so much more length. It sets the table for the top. It gives more RBI opportunities to Terang and Churio and those guys. So it's frankly, the emergence of Joey has been the reason the Brewers have been able to keep their head above water without any real production from William Contreras until the last week, and really not much contributions from Yelly at the plate until the last week as well. You get those two guys going, And now you really have something offensively. I mean, people want to talk about should the Brewers have added a bat at the deadline? Well, there weren't a lot of guys that you could add that were going to be surefire difference makers in any lineup. The best remedy for the Brewers offense was always going to be to get Contreras and Yelich going, and they still have time to do that because this is about October at this point. I mean, it is about holding on in the division and everything else, but the main emphasis is just be right going into October.
So I have questions that are very specific. I am going to we are bringing some great advertising partners of the Brewers here in Madison. We're bringing them to the game. We're going to be in the suite on Friday. And they had two questions I couldn't answer, so I was going to Google it, but I'll just ask you. One, why are they playing at 3 o'clock on a Friday? That's a weird time.
I haven't asked anybody, but look, the schedule's really weird for them coming up because they've got a day game Saturday too, because they're flying to New York to get ready to go to Williamsport for the Little League Classic. So my assumption is they didn't want to do a night game Friday night, turn around, play a day game, then have this crazy travel schedule Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, with the team going into after that 16 games in 16 days. I don't know that all of that is why, but it makes sense to me that you might not want to have a night game the night before a day game you had to have so you could get out. Now, the Brewers have kind of tinkered with this late afternoon start on Fridays the last 2 years. Remember, they did it before the Home Run Derby last year. They did it before the Alumni Game this year also. And so there's a little bit of precedent there where they've done that on occasion in the summer before kids are back in school.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the Cubs do that too sometimes with the Friday afternoon games. It can draw a good crowd before the kids are back in school, so it can kind of like for me with someone with younger kids, it's the 3 o'clock or earlier starts are the ones that I'm looking for because I don't want to have to drive back to Madison at 7 or 9 o'clock at night. It just gets a little bit harder to keep them awake. Lane, thank you so much for hopping on with us.
Lane,
oh wait, I'm sorry, you got
quick,
one more?
You bet, guys.
I got one more quick one before we let you go. You don't have to give us any of your North Shore diaper material, but I need to ask, are we getting any Tombstone references, whether it be North Shore diaper ad or coming up in some future read or moment?
Yeah, you'll have to wait and see. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's not very factually accurate, but I still love the movie. Incredibly entertaining.
It's one of my favorite things in movies.
Yeah, it's like ish.
Yeah,
that's like ish, right?
Sports,
based on a true story.
Major
ish.
League based on a true story, if we really wanted to. Like, there's a true called the Indians, right?
So, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, any Doc Holliday reference is going to be a winner for me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one I'll go with. I got to give that some thought, but
okay.
Yeah, we'll see. If it's 22-0, there's a lot of opportunities to drop some, some Tombstone references in there.
Maybe last night Cal Raleigh looked like somebody walked over his grave. You never know.
Oh, so this was a big elaborate way for you to get yours in. Is that,
yes.
Okay. All right,
potentially.
All right.
I'm just throwing it out. I also love Tombstone. He made a Tombstone reference last time he joined us. I was just curious.
Tombstone? Is that the Huckleberry one?
Yeah.
All right. So you'll be Lane's Huckleberry.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think I explained. Yeah, I explained that, didn't I?
Yes,
maybe I did that on a radio broadcast. But what Huckle means? It's a pallbearer.
There you go.
Which is kind of morbid, but
yes,
a little bit.
All right, Lane. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Lane Grindle. This is Molly and Jim.
I never thought I'd have to design a second wedding ring, but after losing my original, that's exactly where I found myself. Hey, it's Molly Brown, and Jim at Condon Jewelers made the whole experience feel special instead of stressful. I got to sit down with Jim, talk through what I loved about my old ring, what I wanted to do differently, and actually be a part of designing something that felt like me. And now I absolutely love my new ring. It's beautiful, it's personal, and there's a story behind it. If you're looking for something that feels completely your own, Jim at Condon Jewelers is the person I'd trust to help you create it.
You're listening to Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by the ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Available in the Apple and Android app stores. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. Senior writer for The Athletic, Justin Williams, joined the Jump Around last week to share some insight into Luke Fickell, and he believes that one of the big changes the head coach made over the offseason was simply being more of himself.
Part of it was finding the players that he was comfortable being himself with. You know, like Mason Post and Cooper Catalano. He was talking with them on the golf course, and that is Fickell's love language is talking trash. And I think he recognized, here are two guys that, you know, they get me and they kind of have the same motivations and they operate the same way. And he was a little bit more comfortable being himself.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't play games. Just straightforward pricing, premium quality, and trusted Pella certified installation. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
I love the group. I love the guys we got. We've been together for a couple years now. It's not our first rodeo together.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're talking about practice situations.
That's the mindset. That's the goal for us, is to be able to go out there and finish.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Earlier in the calendar year, Brian Gutekunst made a trade with the Indianapolis Colts to acquire veteran linebacker Zaire Franklin to help bolster the year one defense led by new defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon. Franklin has gotten in a couple scraps over the course of the last few Packers training camp practices and says that his mentality on the field is he wants to be an alpha.
My mentality in between the white lines is ultra competitive, like ultimate alpha. Like I want to challenge the best, the biggest. I don't want a little guy. I want to go against the baddest out there. That's how I feel.
With the Green and Gold Fix, I'm Alex Stroh.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 25th.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the New York Mets.
Got him swinging. Throw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in August 25th at 6:10 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
There's lots to see and do at the Dodge County Fair. Fun for me and you. There's good times in the air.
Get ready for Dodge County's biggest event of the summer, the Dodge County Fair, happening August 19th through the 23rd. 5 days of nonstop action with the Badger State Truck and Tractor Pulls, Demo Derby excitement, and grandstand music from Phil Vassar, Vincent Mason, and George Thorogood and the Destroyers. All free with paid fair admission. Bring the family for animal exhibits, interactive displays, and classic fair food, plus carnival rides, commercial vendors, and all the fair favorites you look forward to every year. Grab season tickets now, just $35 in advance, or pay daily at the gate. For tickets and the full schedule, visit DodgeCountyFairgrounds.com. The Dodge County Fair, August 19th through the 23rd.
So come on, everyone, to the Dodge County Fair.
Welcome back to Molly and Jim, your afternoon home for Wisconsin sports talk on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Say something, tell me all around.
Chalmers Jewelers. Like we talked about the diamond with Lane Grindle, you can get yourself a great diamond over at Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. So go check out my good friends at Chalmers Jewelers. They are Madison's custom jeweler, Madison's locally owned, and Madison's family-owned jeweler. Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and Middleton. Jim Rutledge alongside Riley Jauch. This is Molly and Jim. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream and stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. And I thought Lane's thoughts and insight on the defense being more important than I think most fans give it credit for is really worth noting because, yes, everyone wants to assume, and I'm not saying it's not a thing, of like the pitching lab. Like, we're so much smarter than everyone else. Well, just thinking about some teams that are known, and Lane talked about it, the Cubs and the Brewers are both known for finding some sort of like. The Brewers obviously building the top end talent, but the Cubs are, I would say, equals to the Brewers as far as finding scrap heap guys and turning them into serviceable players for a year or two.
Council has contributed to that.
For sure.
Since leaving Milwaukee.
It's the defense. Both those two teams are some of the best defensive teams in baseball, and I think that's the part that y'all want to assume that is a keg or whatever for
the
keg, and I think the Chicago is like Ivy or something like that. But we're smarter than everyone else. It's also when you build a team that's incredible on defense, which both the Cubs and Brewers have, that makes your pitchers so much better. All they have to do is keep the ball in the field of play.
Yeah, and I think that is an area in which they are smarter than everyone else. They're putting an emphasis on defense, and I will fully admit, as a Brewers fan, I'm glad you brought that up because that's something I take for granted way too much. Joey Ortiz made an excellent sliding play deep in the hole at shortstop yesterday. And you're just so used to seeing plays like that from Terang, Platinum Glove winner, Joey Ortiz, Cooper Pratt now. William Contreras is one of the better defensive catchers in Major League Baseball. We're just so used to seeing it. It's so easy. We're a fish, like the fish doesn't know that they're in the ocean or whatever. They don't know what water is. That's Brewers fans when it comes to defense. I know I take it for granted way too often, so I'm glad that was brought up and he's able to shed a little more light on it.
And if you wanted to look a little bit deeper into it, I bet you there's a money ball aspect to defense. I would imagine that's the least expensive skill.
Yeah, it has to be one of the least valued skills in Major League Baseball. Oh, because he doesn't have the best launch angle and exit velo when he's at the dish. He's not worthwhile. When you look at great defenders, man, think of how many runs saved this Brewers defense has over the course of however many games, 100-plus games this season. It has to be through the roof.
I wonder if there's something there with their height, too.
Why they're all on the shorter side?
But finding the players that don't fit the profile are going to be either drafted with value because they're undervalued and you can kind of get the right draft position for them, or you can pay less for them. Because, again, you look at a player and you go, oh, well, that guy isn't going to be – he's not the right height and weight for a third baseman. Or he's not the right power for a third baseman, where the Brewers can be like, we're just going to play this guy here. They're really good at third base, and we'll figure it out. And I think that's where the Brewers are finding some of these money ball sort of deals is that they don't get caught up in what a player is supposed to look like physically, and they don't get caught up in having to have the big bat. Like if you're a plus defender, the Brewers are going to be interested, and it's probably the least expensive thing to pay for, which then fits the budget they're trying to fit.
And Lane brought it up. The best remedy, tons of fans, especially after a few, I think it was the Padres series really when fans started getting very vocal. This is why we should have brought in a bat. Why didn't the Brewers acquire a bat at the deadline? Lane said, one, there weren't many options, and two, really, the Brewers, they have the bats on the roster. Their bats haven't been hitting, and they've been relying on the Joey Ortizes, the David Hamiltons, the Cooper Pratts, the Luis Laras to try and bolster the offense, which thankfully they have to an extent. But now if you can get your Churios going, which he has gotten going, Yelich hit a home run last night, Contreras, Terang, he's had his struggles. Hopefully he gets going now back from injury as well. That's the remedy. Those are the bats. And you can get mad at them not making a big splash at the deadline. When it comes to hitting, wasn't much out there, and they have the talent. They just need to produce.
Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Molly and Jim rolls on after this.
What is the bottom of a porta potty? I genuinely don't know how a porta potty works.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
My dad helps keep businesses and families safe.
Hi, this is Jeffrey Beckman, owner at J&K Security Solutions. And that's exactly what we've been doing for Madison and southern Wisconsin for over 40 years. From security cameras and intrusion alarms to fire protection, access control, and intelligent video monitoring, J&K delivers customized security solutions for homes and businesses.
Because feeling safe matters.
Learn more at jksecurity.com.
J&K Security Solutions. Local, trusted, and family owned.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. This is Owen Dimple with your Sports Center update, brought to you by Wisconsin Badgers Volleyball on ESPN Madison. The regular season starts with the AVCA First Serve Showcase at Fiserv Forum. 6th-ranked Wisconsin opens against 3rd-ranked Kentucky in a Final Four rematch from last season. Coverage begins Friday night at 7:30 on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The Green Bay Packers continue training camp practices up in Green Bay this week as they lead into their second preseason game out in Denver on Friday night. Jordan Love joined the Rich Eisen Show today and was asked about the rivalry with Ben Johnson and the Bears. Here's Love on handling business.
The way that Matt LaFleur has been handled, if you will, by the opposing coach after these games, that has not crept into your locker room at all?
No, I think it's something that we just got to go handle business on the field. That's the only thing we can do. I'm not one to sit around and talk a big game. It's about handling business and stand on actions, stand on business. So we'll do that. We'll handle business and see them when we see them.
For more training camp updates, head on over to ESPN.com. And the Brewers, fresh off their 22-0 dominance over the Mariners, take them on for Game 2, 6:40 p.m. right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Jim Rutledge.
I'm sorry, you are not serious about winning football games and winning a Super Bowl and going deep into the playoffs if you don't have a kicker.
Molly Brown.
You should be going further than getting a 7 seed and not winning a playoff game. That is a fact. You should be getting further with this team that you have.
Welcome to Wisconsin's afternoon hangout.
BS say that Jordan Love's the 10th best quarterback
I'm not feeding
in the
into you talking about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It does have something to do
Go
with
for it.
Best quarterback.
But I literally agreed with you.
defensive
But here's the thing. I agreed with you saying that Jordan Love is the one holding them back.
Yes.
Move on.
All right. So.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
You're feisty today. All
No,
right.
I'm just telling you.
This is Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
I may not believe in Bigfoot, but I do believe in Luke Fickell.
Alongside Riley Jauch, here's Jim Rutledge.
Molly and Jim, hour number 2 continues live on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, streaming on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Riley Jauch in for Molly. I'm Jim Rutledge. Owen Dimple behind the glass. We're in the Everlight Solar Studio. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream and stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. And I want to get back to some Packers talk here, Riley, because we touched on it for a minute there as far as the mentality of this team. And I think it's fair to say, to kind of recap the conversation, that the tone setter or the alpha for the offenses in the NFC North right now, I think we all agree, are set by the head coaches.
Yes.
And so that doesn't mean the quarterbacks aren't good leaders. It just means there's a different leadership style than, let's say, a Joe Burrow and an Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen back. Like, that's just a little bit different. Maybe Jordan Love, this is the year it kind of goes more towards he's the alpha and he's running everything on offense like Aaron Rodgers was when he was with Matt LaFleur. Because we all can agree that when Matt LaFleur was the head coach and Aaron Rodgers was a quarterback, that was Aaron Rodgers' offense, that he was just using LaFleur's playbook and shell of the offense to run it. That's not a knock on LaFleur. It was just, hey, here are the keys. I think every offense in the NFL or in the NFC North, the quarterback doesn't have the keys yet.
They're in the passenger seat.
Yes.
The head coach is driving the car, driving the bus.
Right. Now, if you want to call them like the co-alpha, where like in the true alpha aspect of it, it's more of like the parents, the top two.
Yeah.
But in general, it is led by those teams. But defensively, to me, I think this is where what separates great defenses and great teams from other teams. And this is the concern I have for the Packers, because there's a case to be made. You can build this team. Like, to me, there's a spreadsheet all-stars of, like, on a spreadsheet, the Packers offense looks amazing. In practice, when it counts at the end of the game, there's something missing. And that's why we kind of started this alpha discussion of, can it be Tucker Kraft? Can it be someone on offense first that comes in there and either keeps the team loose or the team gets behind? And it's not that they're not following Jordan Love. It's just someone who truly has that presence, and Tucker Kraft on offense unquestionably has it. And I think he would be one of the alphas on the offense for the Packers. I think they need more to really have that killer instinct because I don't think LaFleur truly has it. I don't think Love has it. Again, not saying that they're not fantastic players or they don't know how to play great football. It's just that killer Jordan, Kobe, Tom Brady sort of like we're going to step on your throat that hasn't been acquired yet by Love, and I don't think LaFleur has it. And so defensively is another place I think you can get it. And Riley, I look at it for defensively here. I think Micah Parsons and you think Zaire Alexander are the two that have it? Or Zaire Franklin?
Zaire Franklin.
Yeah.
I think you can argue Javon Hargraves as well, who they brought in. Salty vet, 33 years old. But ultimately, it's Micah Parsons. He is that guy, and I think that's why the difference was so glaring last season when he got injured out in Denver. But from the moment he got injured in Denver through the rest of the season, that team was different. There's a reason they played Enter Sandman at Lambeau Field when Micah Parsons was taking the field on a closing type of opportunity for the defense. He is that guy. I think it's etched into every Packers fan's brain after last season. The video of him chasing down Jared Goff literally like a predator hunting down his prey. Micah Parsons is that dude, which is why it's so important that guys like Zaire Franklin, like Javon Hargraves, step into that role in the first 5 or 6 games when Micah Parsons is out. And credit to Goody. I think that was one of my biggest critiques after the Bears lost in the playoff game. I remember hosting Saturday Scramble, and everyone wanted LaFleur's head at that point. And in my mind, it always went to the best teams are player-led, especially in the NFL, because these are all grown men. It's a little different in college, obviously very different in high school, the lower you go. But these are all grown men. Yes, the head coach sets the identity, the tone, the tempo, et cetera, but you need people on the field to lead. And the Packers, outside of Micah Parsons, once he went down, it was all young guys. There was no real leader on the defense. So I wanted Goody to go out and get some veterans who were established leaders who could be that authority figure when Micah Parsons wasn't on the field. And to his credit, he went out and did that. He got Zaire Franklin, former All-Pro with the Indianapolis Colts. He got Javon Hargraves, won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. That's experience that the Packers didn't have last year. That is authority. That is leadership the Packers didn't have last year. And I think that is going to, if the Packers are able to stay afloat on the defensive side of the ball in those first few weeks without Micah Parsons, it's going to be because of those two guys.
All right, we'll continue that conversation. We are going to play Minute to Win It in a second here, but let me tell everyone about J&K Security Solutions. They are locally owned, they are family owned, they are veteran owned, and make sure that if you want to protect your home or business from anywhere in the world, contact my good friends at J&K Security Solutions. So right now I need to do some callers. Is that right here?
Yes.
Okay.
I had some caller numbers unless you wanted to pick them.
No, go ahead.
2 and 5.
Caller number
All right.
And do we give, with the category is given off air, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Caller number 2, caller number 5, 844-770-3776. Caller number 2 and caller number 5, 844-770-3776. You'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to North and South Seafood Smokehouse. It turns into a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood Smokehouse if you pick the correct over-under. 844-770-3776.
I'm excited.
Caller
I don't get to
number,
play usually. Usually I'm setting the line. Let's see if we can beat O-Dog.
All right. Caller number 5. Believe in us. We'll come through for you.
You're hanging out with Molly and Jim
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I love what the Bears are doing.
on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Bryce Clark is co-owner of Capital Lock, a growing business here in Madison. They implemented a workflow automation solution from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
We use DocuWare. It's a document imaging software, helps capture basically all the documents that we have.
Such as?
We primarily use it for accounts payable and accounts receivable, pretty much anything relating to our sales or payments side of accounting.
And Bryce, the impact of the DocuWare software solution from James Imaging Systems?
It's nice that we can scan in a document and now anybody can just look up that document number and we can find that piece of information.
The overall business benefit for Capital Lock?
It's made us wildly more efficient, especially me.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Remember when your favorite Pizza Hut classics came with prices like these? Good news, they're back. Introducing the Throwback Value Menu, featuring the new medium one-topping stuffed crust pizza for just $10, and other favorites starting at only $3. Plus, try the new Triple Cheese Mac or satisfy your sweet tooth with new s'more sticks. Check out the full Throwback Value Menu at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. That's pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 25th.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the New York Mets.
Got him swinging. Threw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in August 25th at 6:10 on WISC TV in Madison or check your local listings to watch the game.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
You're listening to Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
I drove my big blue truck from Simmons Chevrolet today out to Mount Horeb as I hung out with Tyler, talked some Brewers and some Packers, and he'll be in the suite with me on Friday for the Brewer game there. But if you're only minutes away from a better buying experience, easy drive out to Mount Horeb and Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience. Jim Rutledge and Riley Jauch with you. This is Molly and Jim. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Now it is time to play Minute to Win It.
Will they beat the odds?
Well, I set the over-under too high. Sorry about that.
Anything is possible!
Or crumble under pressure?
Oh, I'm screwed.
That's Ricochet.
This is the Minute to Win It on Molly and Jim.
All right, Owen, what do we got?
So today we're going to do naming the 11 Brewers hitters in the lineup that had at least one hit last night.
Okay, I like this.
So there's 11 total that had at least one hit.
Okay. All right, what's our over-under?
8.5.
8.5. Okay.
All right.
Who are our callers?
On the over is Travis in Blue Mounds, and on the under is Mark in Cottage Grove.
Okay. Who made the first call?
Travis was the first caller.
Okay, so he believes in us. Let's go.
All righty. So I think I got one that's pretty set. I'll be honest, I didn't follow it a ton, but Christian Yelich, I believe, had a hit.
Correct. He had one. Two.
Luis Lara had a hit last night.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to go with like a usual suspect in Bowers.
Bowers had 2 hits. Correct.
I believe David Hamilton hit a home run.
Hamilton did. He had 3 total hits.
I would have met Ortiz.
Ortiz had 2 hits.
Let's go. All right. William Contreras.
Contreras had 2 hits.
Jackson Churio.
Jackson Churio had 1 hit.
All right. Let's see. I don't know if Terang played
That's
yesterday.
why I haven't said him yet. Yeah.
Jake Bowers, going through the outfield.
Who played short?
Ortiz played short.
Hamilton
played third. I mean, Bryce Terang. I can't remember if he played last night or not.
Bryce Terang played, but he did not have a hit.
Wow. Okay. What are we at? 6 or 7? 7 right now. Okay. We need 2 more.
The outfielders we're looking here.
Yep.
Sal.
No, Sal. I don't think he played. Man, disappointing.
Just say an outfielder.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I'm struggling with these outfielders right now. We have Lara. Garrett Mitchell.
Garrett Mitchell led the way with 4 of them.
Oh my gosh. That I had the thought too. We still would have lost.
Yeah.
So that would have been 8. I just remember the highlights. Jake Bowers, catcher. Oh, Gary Sanchez. Did he have a hit?
I don't believe Sanchez played.
He just pitched.
He pitched.
Yeah, he
did not
the
have
game out.
He did not have a hit.
Man, who are we missing here? Middle.
I think you can only get 1 out of the possibly 3 more. The's 2 of them I don't know if you would get.
Yeah, because there's a couple weird players that have played recently that with names I forget. I don't know.
The 3 other players that had 1 hit, Andrew Vaughn.
Oh, easy. First base. Should have known that.
I thought Bowers was first base, so that's my bad, yeah.
Yep.
The other 2 that I don't think you would have gotten, Brandon Lockridge. He is back and playing.
Lockridge is back, even though he got DFA, not DFA. He got sent down to AAA today.
Yeah, and he was a late game substitution in the lineup. So he had 1 hit. And the last one, Jonathan Ornelas.
That's
Johnny
who I was
Rockets.
trying. Jonathan Ornelas. Ornelas was the name. I was like, I'm never going to get that one. Andrew Vaughn. I should have got Andrew Vaughn. That's frustrating.
Great over/under set by me.
Yeah, we were right there.
That was
we
good.
were right there.
Right at 7. We got all the highlights. The guys who had big highlights.
We were
from
rolling,
yesterday.
but the thing that gets you on it, rather more than anything else, is the time.
Yep, it's like shoot, a minute is fast.
Yes, and that's where it gets you because I've been gotten a few times on the time that it just sneaks up on you. You really have to be able to rapid fire them out.
Yeah, we didn't have enough pace there, but now
I think we got a little cocky too because we're like, we got this.
You went through really quick, and I was like, ooh, these guys might blow through this.
Mitchell and Vaughn. That was a good line. We should have gotten Garrett Mitchell and Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question out near here. Where are we on our clock here, Owen?
We're in segment number 2. So
yeah, we're going into segment 3.
All right, so we got some time. All right, so I just want to, I know we went super long on the other one there, so I was trying to figure out where we are at. 844-770-3776. It's Carbus Talk text line. This is more. And we were talking about kind of having that like dog mentality, that alpha mentality on the defense. And I just think the Packers need more of it. And this conversation started because of Jordan Love's kind of just even-keeled answer that he gives to everything. Jason Wilde joked that he talked to Jordan Love's wife, and she's indicated that, like, this is kind of just who Jordan Love is. And that's fine. The problem is that's who Matt LaFleur is, and that seems to be a large chunk of who the offense is outside of Tucker Kraft. And I'm a believer that I want a few loose screws on offense or someone who's irrational confidence or just someone that can keep things like in perspective or lock it in. Because you hear these stories about Rodgers and Brady and other quarterbacks in the league, and these games come down the line, there's just like a wolf-like coldness to them, like they're that predator at the end of the game. And to his credit, Jordan Love is the same guy at the start of the game, at the end of the game. But maybe you need a guy that turns into that cold-blooded alpha predator in that fourth quarter.
I mean,
and again, I'm not saying he's like a wimp or something.
I would love to see Jordan Love have a little bit more of the fire we saw at the end in that final drive of the Bears game. It didn't lead to a touchdown, but there were a couple of throws. They weren't perfect throws, but they were throws that the receivers could have reeled in, and you could tell Jordan Love was frustrated that his receivers weren't able to bring him in. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, looking at you. I would love to see a twinge more of that Aaron Rodgers sort of get on your butt. Like, hey, that's something you have to make that play. I'd like to see a little bit more of that, but also you still have to be you.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him deviate too much.
So that's the catch-22 here is that's not LaFleur, and you don't want LaFleur to get out of who he is.
No.
That's not Love. You don't want Love to get out of who he is. So then it's like, who is that on this team that can – because Jordan Love is a lead-by-example guy, in my opinion, which there's nothing wrong with that. But there has to be someone on the team that locks everyone else in. Like, because if Jordan Love is the same guy in play 1 as in play 70, then, like, well, how, as a player, do you recognize the moment? You know, obviously they're professionals, but if he's the same even-keel guy every time, you're not getting that cue of, like, this, like, we have to score here. Like, this is it. Like, not because we're down, but because if we don't do it, whatever team we're playing is going to come back. And maybe it's Tucker. Maybe it's Tucker, and Tucker just physically being in that huddle, and I'm not discounting it could be Tucker, that can make the difference this year.
Yeah, or maybe on the flip side, Jordan Love, I'm not going to pretend to know what he says in that final huddle of the final drive, but maybe that is when he says something. And maybe for the first time, it happened at the very end of the season, even though it didn't lead to a victory. Maybe, I think, it could mean a little more if he's even keel all game, and then final drive, there's something different. But I'll say we haven't seen it.
And I would say, like, that's the step for him. Just like can he be elite every game? He hasn't been elite every game, which is why he, those who believe in him will say he's going to get there. And those who, like me, don't believe he's going to get there is because he would have been there already with more consistency, with eliteness, because it happens in games too, where the second half he's elite or the first half he's elite. These full games are not put together, and so it's never all the time. It's flashes of, and he's getting past the point of the young player where you buy the flashes. This could be who Jordan Love is, who his baseline is always good. And sometimes he flashes elite. And the step he could make is figuring out a way to become that predator. It doesn't even have to necessarily fully be external rah-rah guy, but something where the players pick up on it. Because you hear, it's not always rah-rah yelling, but with Brady or Burrow or Mahomes or any, like, there is unquestioned of like, oh, he's locked in. And again, it's not that Jordan's not paying attention, but the lore around those guys are there. Now, is it a chicken or the egg? They're winning, so the lore is put there.
Exactly.
But are they winning because the lore is there? I don't know on that. You just don't.
But you got to do it to get full buy-in from everyone on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Jordan Love certainly can take that next step. And I think every time, I know this has been a conversation over the past couple of years, but I feel like we're going to have a very good indication now, especially with the weapons condensed, healthy, at least for now. If we get a full season of Jordan Love, even if the offensive line isn't as good as it could be or as we'd hope it could be, I think a full season with a healthy Love, a healthy Watson, a healthy Kraft, Matthew Golden, even if he takes a smaller step, a slightly better Matthew Golden, a slightly better Jaden Reed, I think we're going to have a pretty good indication of what kind of quarterback and what kind of leader Jordan Love is, probably not that far into the season.
We're going to hear about Riley Jauch's hatred of skateboarding next.
Molly and Jim rolls on after this.
Support your team. Support these guys. Smack is going to win you a lot of games.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited with my brother and business partner, Eric Brown. Siding Unlimited is Madison's choice for siding, windows, roofing, and doors.
Siding Unlimited delivers on expectations because our experience, integrity, and craftsmanship come through on every project.
For new siding, windows, roofing, and doors, call 608-220-0005 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
There's a spirit you can only find in Door County, and Door County Distillery bottles it. Hey, it's Riley Jauch. Locally made in Carlsville, Door County Distillery crafts small batch spirits with Wisconsin ingredients and the flavors that make Door County unforgettable. From brandy, gin, whiskey, and my favorite, cherry vodka, my dad makes a mean cherry mule, to cocktails, tastings, tours, and more. It's a true Door County experience. Visit Door County Distillery in Carlsville or find your local retailer and more at doorcountydistillery.com.
It's nice to know some things are still made locally.
At Chalmers Jewelers, your custom jewelry is designed and handcrafted right here by local craftspeople.
No mass production, no sending your piece out, just real craftsmanship made right here in our community.
Custom jewelry,
designed locally,
crafted locally,
only at Chalmers Jewelers.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security Solutions offers state-of-the-art home and business security systems tailored to your needs. From video surveillance to home and business automation, to find out how J&K Security can help secure what matters most in your life, visit jksecurity.com.
Hey, it's Owen Dimple. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports in local communities.
Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. RidgetopExteriors.com. That's RidgetopExteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Get ready, Wisconsin. The Sugar River Fire and Smoke Barbecue Festival is bringing the heat to historical Paoli this fall. Presented by renowned pitmaster and TV personality Michelle Wallace and hosted by 7 Acre Dairy Company. Enjoy incredible barbecue from acclaimed pitmasters and local legends, plus live music, barbecue demonstrations, and more all weekend long, September 19th and 20th in Paoli, Wisconsin. Get your tickets now at fireandsmokebarbecuefestival.com.
When your car needs care, trust the team that treats it like their own. Conant Automotive in Stoughton. From oil changes and brakes to engine diagnostics and major repairs. Their ASE certified technicians deliver honest, reliable service you can count on. Plus, they offer loaner vehicles and convenient after-hours drop-off to fit your schedule. Serving the Stoughton area since 2006. Trust the local brand that's built a reputation for dependable auto repair. Visit Conant Automotive on Highway 51 in Stoughton or learn more at ConantAuto.com.
Welcome back to Molly and Jim, your afternoon home for Wisconsin sports talk on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Plug it in, load it up, let's play. Time is money, I've got plenty, I got all day. Just one more level.
Bruce Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, home of the Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl Happy Hour. Make sure to visit our good friends Lee and Kevin over at Bruce Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. This is Molly and Jim. Riley Jauch is in for Molly, and Owen is behind the glass. We're in the Everlight Solar studio, and I believe Matt Hamilton is in tomorrow. And I'm curious what he'll take for your take here, Riley. With the question
is
that
he a skateboarder?
Yeah, I don't know. He gives the vibe
he does
to someone
very
that
much have the vibe.
At least tried skateboarding.
Yes.
And Riley, did you ever skateboard when you were younger?
No, I did not.
Not even just like having one to like get around?
No, I never had a skateboard. I think maybe my cousins had one and occasionally would roll around the driveway or something like that.
Did you have a scooter or anything?
Yeah, I had a scooter, the big wheeled trikes.
Yeah.
I bike around all the time.
Yeah.
I love personal man-powered transportation.
Okay.
I hate skateboarders.
Okay.
And I had forgotten, not living downtown in Madison, how annoying. I understand this is a super old man take, but now I understand why all these buildings have no skateboarding signs on them, why this was such a big deal when skateboarding was popular. I was downtown today picking up an item from my great friends at Wisconsin Design Team. They just actually restocked this Euchre shirt. So
nice.
Use code Riley15 for 15% off. WisconsinDesignTeam.com. I was picking up an item from them, and I was grabbing a sandwich for lunch. And there's a skateboarder going down State Street, and it just triggered PTSD from when I was a student at UW-Madison, and I'd be walking around downtown State Street. Well, it didn't matter if there was an event going on or I was just going to the bars with my friends. There were always these stupid groups of skateboarding jerks who would skate around State Street. One, skateboards are loud. Two, they're weaving in and out of traffic. They're driving or whatever, riding right up to you, weaving out of the way, then doing a kick flip and damn near falling over themselves. They're just a nuisance to society. They're terrible. Skateboards, go to a skate park. Unless you're using it for transportation to get from point A to point B, you should only be allowed to do tricks with your little skateboard at a skate park. You shouldn't be allowed to take up the entirety of State Street with your little posse doing kick flips and getting in everyone's way and getting within 5 inches of people. It's so annoying. I do not like skateboarders at all.
Can you go out there and just like issue tickets for like kick flips?
Yeah, you should be able to.
You do it.
Yeah, I should. I should print out fake parking citations or the ones that look similar to what the Madison parking police give out and just slap them on their back after they miss their 7th ollie in a row over whatever imaginary thing they're doing it over.
And they love their stickers on their boards too, so maybe they can add to it.
Yeah, it's a little personalization, a little personal touch.
So where do you rank them with like I'm gonna be honest, bikers are super annoying.
Yeah.
Like when I'm trying to drive downtown, like, good Lord, I get you get the right of way, but like I'm also in a car, so at least acknowledge that I exist, and maybe I didn't see you. Like, your bikers expect perfection out of everyone driving
and walking, too.
right? But it's like, yeah, and walking. The walking one's even more like you're the dangerous one, bikers, when people are walking. Not just like the cars are the dangerous ones when you're biking and you want them to be looking out for you. You need to look out for the pedestrians when you're riding your bike, and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance. What's the word here? Cockiness, arrogance,
yeah,
around the bikers. And I get it. We're a great biking community, and there's a lot of great bike paths. But like on the road, especially like it's busy, and then you're on the road, and I know that's where you're supposed to be. But it's like, you had 5 o'clock is when you had the bike. Like, come on, like.
They're coming back. They're commuting.
Yeah.
See, at least bikers can be bad too. I'll admit, when I was a student and when I rode a bike, I was terrible as a pedestrian and a biker. So maybe this is just, coming back to bite me with the skateboarders. But at least biking is typically, you use that to commute from point A to point B. You're not
saying these skateboarders?
They're not. They're not commuting anywhere. They're just going up and down the most busiest part of State Street, flipping all over the place, taking up the entire road.
The hippies don't have jobs.
Exactly. Oh, no, most of them are probably just students, and they like skateboarding. It doesn't mean they're not annoying. And whether I'm trying to bike to get from point A to point B on State Street or I'm walking trying to get from point A to point B, they're somehow always in the way. And it's a nuisance.
I'd like to submit one more, and then I want to do a poll question here. But the e-bikes. I mean, the e-scooters.
The e-scooters are also atrocious.
And insanely dangerous. And I think I don't know what it's like downtown, but in like the burbs, there's like these little e-scooter gangs, and they're just driving around like,
Okay, I'm not familiar with the e-scooter gangs.
They're not doing like vandalism and stuff, but they're just running amok. And most of the people, the concern is that these are like 13-year-olds who are operating things that can go up to like 25 miles per hour. They don't understand rules of the road. They're not like looking left and right. So it's honestly, it's truly wholesome on like the Facebook pages where they're like, look, I don't even care who these kids are. I don't want to run them over. I don't want to see something horrible happen. And there have been some stories in the area of these kids like not paying attention at all, and you get that kind of speed and then you are oblivious. It like people are trying to avoid these kids, and it's still just flying all over the place. When I drop my kids off at school, like I just going to account for and budget for that these kids, if I see someone on an e-scooter, I'm just going to almost stop because I'm like, I don't know where you're going. I don't know when you're going to cut out in front, and I don't want to hit you, so you just do your thing. But those are getting extra dangerous. They're not as common as bikes and scooter or skateboards, but man, they are dangerous as heck.
They're becoming very popular, and I mean, now I haven't been on campus in a couple of years, but they are certainly becoming more prevalent on campus, and they should not be allowed on sidewalks or walkways because you have an e-scooter. I have seen this a couple of times. An e-scooter is zipping up Library Mall, East Campus Mall, weaving through hundreds of students. That is not safe.
No, one misstep from a student, and God knows how many people are wiped out.
They're basically mopeds.
Yes.
Like you can't have mopeds on sidewalks. It's a road transportation vehicle.
Yes. And the speed that these things can move on, they should be road transportation vehicles.
I would agree.
And then
you need a license for it.
Right. Yeah. And then like in the small communities, you got 13-year-olds who are whipping around on the sidewalks, but they're crossing the street in between there, and like they're going at speeds they're not aware of, and people aren't looking for them. So,
and have you guys seen the single-wheeled motorized vehicles? I don't know what they're called. It's not a unicycle. You stand on it, and you control it with a little remote. And it's super fast. They go crazy fast. It's a one-wheeled motorized vehicle that you balance on and you sort of fly. It's like a hoverboard, but with one wheel, and it goes incredibly fast. They're relatively common among.
And we have the 510 chimes in, and please feel free to put your name on it. I'm not sure who's knocking skateboards, but it's obvious that poser I had at that part is someone who can't ride one. If you want to moan and groan about something that actually matters, how about the fat tire electric bikes, which I agree.
I mean, those are bad too.
They're going 30-plus miles an hour on the bike paths and come up and scare the crap out of you when you're just trying to get a ride in. Why aren't they required to go on the road? I'm so sick of seeing people not pedaling on the bike path and scaring the crap out of people who are just trying to walk or jog or bike by actually pedaling. The best is when you see the electric bike folks in bike wear, like they're actually exerting energy.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. Was it the 501?
No, 510.
The 510. Okay. I agree with everything he said about electric bikes, and I guess my issue is less with the skateboard as a vehicle and more with the gangs of skateboarders on UW-Madison's campus that take up all of State Street and make it impossible, because they're doing the same thing the e-bikers are doing. They're just on skateboards, so it's the same behavior. But
so
I
it's
guess
more
they're
of
not
like
going
on the sidewalk is the issue more than like with all these things.
Yes.
Like if you're going to do some of this stuff, look, I didn't know the e-bikes went that fast because I thought e-bikes.
They're getting nicer, yeah.
I thought they were more of like, hey, you're riding a bike, or like my father-in-law who has a replacement hip, like this way he has something where he could, take a break, but he wants to ride the bike, but every once in a while if he needs an assist or if he needs to take a little bit of break, it can do that. I don't think he's trying to ride one that goes 30 miles per hour. But, like, I didn't even know they evolved to that. Yeah, that can't be on a bike path. Same with the e-scooters. Like, you can't nothing motorized should be allowed on the sidewalks or bike paths. I think we all can agree on that one.
Yes, 100%. And I always chuckle when someone my age or between my age and maybe 35 years old, very healthy, able-bodied, is riding these super nice e-bikes. And dude, you're not getting a workout. You're not actually biking.
Just get a motorcycle.
Yeah,
Jesus, just step it up.
If you're gonna you have to hit a certain age threshold or a surgery threshold. Like there has to be a previous injury where you can't.
Or just
bike.
get the ones that are supposed to be more of an assist.
Yes, like
as you're trying,
the B-cycles.
Yeah, like as you're trying to maybe become a further cycler. That okay, fine, I'm gonna try to cycle 20 miles, but. Man, the back 10 of these miles, I need a little help on the hills.
Yes.
And then over time, I won't need that help on the hills, and I can even go farther. That's what I would think of it, I bit off more than I could chew. Mm-hmm. I need a little help getting back.
Jim, if your daughters asked you for one, would you allow it?
The e-bike?
Oh, yes. Good question.
No.
No?
No, absolutely not. The nice thing is about daughters, at least my daughters, is they don't have, boys just do stupid things. You just, the girls don't have this interest of flying around at 15, 20 miles per hour on an e-scooter. They recognize, that's unnecessarily dangerous. I'll just ride my bike. Or they have, they have little skateboards and they have scooters, but they're not doing many tricks on it there.
Okay. Good.
They're barely mastering the bumps in the sidewalk as you go down.
Let me just paint the picture. This happened so many times throughout my 4 years at Madison. I'm biking either from this office or from somewhere downtown, and I'm coming back down State Street. And there's a group of 8 skateboarders taking up the entirety of State Street. I'm trying to ride my bike, and then they're doing tricks right in front of me and making me weave between them, and they're just getting in everybody's way. It's so annoying.
All right, we got a bunch of text on this we'll get to on the other side. This is Molly and Jim.
You're hanging out with Molly and Jim.
I will stand by this. Nothing will mean more to the state of Wisconsin than a Brewers World Series.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Simple, affordable business technology solutions from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Listen to Bryce Clark, co-owner of Capital Lock, a local Madison business.
James Imaging Systems, they helped find the solution that worked for us, both the software and hardware solution paired together that makes things incredibly more efficient.
More efficiency. Does that mean you and your staff are saving time?
I would say between 20 to 40 hours a week.
That must make a real operational difference at Capital Lock.
Obviously, the more time we have to dedicate to other jobs or other things, it makes life so much easier.
Bryce, what's your advice to other local businesses?
First of all, you got to find the right partner.
Like James Imaging Systems?
Oh, absolutely. Very proactive, solutions-based, and obviously really friendly and great people to work with.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. That's jamesimaging.com.
It's well known that the boss at the exteriors company is a perfectionist.
It's a gift.
He not only oversees every job, he inspects each aspect of the operation to get to the root of what your project will actually need to be long-lasting.
Call 960-ROOF.
Oh, he's proud of all the reviews.
What can I say? Take a look.
The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
I love the group. I love the guys we got. We've been together for a couple years now. It's not our first rodeo together.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're talking about practice situations.
That's the mindset. That's the goal for us, is to go out there and finish.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Earlier in the calendar year, Brian Gutekunst made a trade with the Indianapolis Colts to acquire veteran linebacker Zaire Franklin to help bolster the year one defense led by new defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon. Franklin has gotten in a couple scraps over the course of the last few Packers training camp practices and says that his mentality on the field is he wants to be an alpha.
My mentality in between the white lines is ultra competitor, like ultimate alpha. Like I want to challenge the best, the biggest. I don't want a little guy. I want to go against the baddest out there. That's how I feel.
With the Green and Gold Fix, I'm Alex Strofe.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Brian Butch here. From high school All-American to Division I to the pros, I've always respected people who put in the work. And Labor Day is about exactly that. From August 19th through September 8th, get 40% off all Iron Jock gear with a minimum purchase of $50 using code ESPN40. Excludes clearance and gift cards. Our gear is moisture-wicking, anti-static, built with 4-way stretch, and powered by silver ion technology to help eliminate odor-causing bacteria. Iron Jock, built on performance, built to last, built in Wisconsin. Shop the Labor Day sale now at ironjock.com.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no-obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Thanks for spending your afternoon with Molly and Jim on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Molly and Jim continues the Old Men Yell at Cloud edition of the show. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. You can chime in as we take you up to Brewers baseball. The pregame starts at 6:05. Brewers take on the Mariners at 6:40. And maybe Lane and Jeff can use some of this stuff as far as some fodder.
Yeah, if the Brewers put up another 22 today, they'll have plenty of time to talk about the nuisance that e-bikes have become on society.
Yeah, so JJ in Pointhead chimes in, and you can chime in 844-770-3776. Carbos Talk text line list is more. I wanted to ask which is the most annoying thing, I guess, e-bikes, e-scooters, skateboards, or bikes. Mm-hmm. And JJ in Pointhead chimes in, e-scooters are getting out of hand, both in my car and on my foot. I've nearly been run into or run over numerous times. I'm not expecting something coming the wrong way on a sidewalk at 25 miles per hour.
Yeah, no, not at all. And that's shocking. If that's happening in Poynette, Wisconsin, that means it is spreading across probably the globe. That's terrifying. It's bad enough. I mean, there's a reason Wisconsin, specifically, I believe the UW-Madison campus, didn't allow the Lime scooters or the Bird scooters or any other brand to bring them in to Madison because they're so terrible for society in general.
Oh, yeah, you just leave them left everywhere.
Then you can just leave them anywhere. Yeah. And that's why they have the B-cycle, the e-bikes and whatnot, which those are the more controlled ones. They're not nearly as bad as the 30-mile-per-hour ones. But now they're becoming personal vehicles. I guess, I don't know how much does an e-scooter cost. I'm assuming it's affordable if everyone is able to get one.
I don't know. Maybe Owen can look that part up here. Tyler in Sun Prairie chimes in. This is such an old man conversation, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Had a 12-year-old-ish kid flying down my block on the sidewalk. We have 10 kids under 8 in 3-house stretch. The kid never slowed down. Needless to say, his father and I had a conversation. He no longer goes down our block. Which, again, yes, 25 miles per hour flying down the sidewalk with little kids around is incredibly dangerous.
Yes, if you have anyone, that's dangerous for not even just kids.
Right.
That's dangerous for any normal human being
but
trying
kids,
to exist.
Little kids don't even have the spatial awareness to understand what's happening there.
You could severely injure a small child that's just wandering around with one of these things.
Yeah, because you're not going to know which direction they're going. Most people have an understanding of all right, this thing's coming, I'm going to step onto the grass.
Yeah.
But we got Rick in Madison as well. I was literally thinking of this earlier today. I was driving down Highway 113. Speed limit is 35. I was doing 40. There were 5 kids on electric motorcycle type riding wheelies past me at roughly 55 miles per hour. Why don't they get speeding tickets? There was a police officer running radar up that road. SMH, shake my head, Rick from Madison.
Wow. I don't think the e-scooters can get up to 55 miles per hour.
But this is an e-bike he was talking about.
Oh, e-bike?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a problem to take up with the police officers.
And then as JJ Ponette chimes in, the problem is that we never keep up with the technology on these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes error erring on the side of public safety is usually the best way to do things, and then you can pull it back or loosen things up as it goes along with some common sense.
I will say we may have lost that as generally as a society, because I remember my dad's told me stories from when he was a student here at UW back in the mid-'90s. And he said typically at the start of the school year, the cops would give out jaywalking tickets to students who would jaywalk. They'd only give them out right at the start, probably each semester, like, hey, you can't do that. Yeah, stop it right away. And there wasn't as much jaywalking. Now, I have never, ever seen a police officer give a ticket for jaywalking. I would have probably gotten lots of tickets.
And I definitely
if they did.
I don't think I got a ticket, but I remember even being up in lacrosse, like getting whistled at. Like the police would blow the whistle or whatever. Like, hey, go back. I'm sure if I tried to cross, they would. But like around campus, they would have people that would try to stop that. Yeah, there does seem to be a just kind of a lack of community as far as the public transportation. Vita Vea with the Bucks agrees to a 1-year, $30 million extension.
Okay.
So he is going nowhere.
I mean, I'm happy to hear that as a Packers fan, because I don't think the Packers were realistically in on any of those conversations. And now they're playing highlights from the Brewers' 22-0 win as Julio Rodriguez chucks the ball over the fence with only 2 outs.
All right, we got the average prices here of an e-scooter.
So it really depends on what you get. There's like different levels to this.
All right.
The basic budget models are lightweight, short-range options, usually 10 to 15 miles per hour, meant for casual use or beginners. That ranges from $150 to $500.
Okay.
The next level up is your mid-range commuters, which are reliable daily riders with better build quality, speeds around 18 to 20 miles per hour, and ranges up to 25 to 30, going for $500 to $1,000. And now for the premium and high performance category, heavy duty machines featuring dual motors, full suspension, and top speeds exceeding 30 to 40 miles per hour for long distance or off-road riding, $1,000 to $3,000.
I want to see one of those puppies.
Those are mopeds.
There's no way you're riding that like a normal scooter, right?
You can't ride you can't put that on the sidewalk. I'm sorry.
50 miles per hour flying down the suburban sidewalk.
So I would imagine that Rick is right with that 55 mile per hour estimate, because if that's what an e-scooter can get to,
freaking hyper scooters.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We are really doing an old man show, but good Lord, that is insane. And yes, there's no world where my daughters are going to want to be riding on something that could go up to 55 miles per hour when they're not old enough to drive. Like, it is insane. Also, at what point do you just get a motorcycle? Like, what are we doing?
Or a moped.
Or a moped. Like, just get an actual vehicle.
My brother actually did buy an e-scooter recently. I don't.
Did you get a bit like one of the $5,000 ones?
No, this is probably like a basic budget model. So I think he paid probably like $200 for his.
See, but how are these kids? And sorry to interrupt, but how are all these kids getting $200 scooters?
Oh, I mean, that's just they're in the burbs, man. These kids get whatever they want.
I guess so.
Mine included. But go ahead.
Yeah. So he just moved here into Madison, and he wanted something just quick to get around. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And so he just wanted to get one of the little scooters, nothing crazy. So I'm curious how the experience is going to go for him. I should follow up with him.
Is he on sidewalks? I wouldn't feel comfortable riding one of those on
it. I
wouldn't feel comfortable riding those on a sidewalk. Even the ones that go 10, 15 miles per hour. Like, it would be similar like when I'm walking my dog. Like, I have a pit bull mix, and if I see someone, I just cross the street because they're going to, like, she's the sweetest dog in the world, but I'm like, I'm just going to, I don't want to freak anyone out. Same thing if I was riding on an empty sidewalk at 10, 15 miles per hour on an e-scooter. If I saw someone walking, I would just get into the road.
Probably stopping.
Or stopping, or just like,
going
depending on where I'm at. Like, I just picture my neighborhood, I could just go into the road. It's not that busy, and then get back on the sidewalk when I pass them. But around here, it's a little different, and maybe you just have to stop. I would love to know a little bit.
Yeah, I want to hear the other side of what's it like to be an e-scooterer in the Madison area.
All I know is that he found it off Amazon and he thought it was a good deal. So
okay, well, that's a good start. I respect a good bargain hunter, good, very frugal person.
Yeah, no, that's I've bought some things where I'll be like, oh, this is a bargain, and then I'm curious now if he uses it.
Yeah,
because I bought some things, but this is a bargain, and then it's not even unboxed yet. Like,
just sitting there.
He is notorious for buying things too. Like, he bought a boat, never once used it, maybe once or twice.
I'm assuming
boat?
like a fishing boat.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Still.
Yeah. Right.
Why?
I sympathize with. I haven't done anything like a boat before, but like I bought something to like supposed to like go over the yard and like pick up the leaves, stuff like that. But I bought it late last year. I didn't get it put together, and it's just been. I don't have any need for it right now, so it's just not put together in the garage. I will soon. It will finally, but it'll be a good 8 months after I bought it. Okay. I will finally actually put the whole thing together and use it. So it happens. But sometimes a good deal's a good deal. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Matt Hamilton is in. Are you producing then?
Yeah, I'm back behind the glass.
All righty. And Owen, thanks for filling in. This has been Molly and Jim on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream and ESPN Wisconsin app.
Peace.